Hey, it's Brian and Nick from London Real. This week we had Margarita Nazarenko on the show. She's a beauty queen and a former runner-up for Miss Universe.
Definitely not the show we expected it to be, and both of us agree that she's more than just a pretty face.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, so check it out.
Welcome to London, the city we come from. London town and we go play the Eden sound now. We go party all night long.
Welcome back to London Real. My name is Brian Rose. Joining me, as usual, is Mr. Nick Gabriel. And today in studio is Miss Margarita Nazarenko, beauty queen and also actress in the blockbuster martial arts hit, The Supremacy.
Hey.
Directed by
one of my favorite films of all time.
You know, it was really good. Yeah. Welcome.
Hi.
You know, it's nice to have you here, Margarita. I haven't seen
Thank
you
you
in like 3 years since the premiere.
True. Amazing.
It's ridiculous, right?
I know.
And I see your pictures sometimes on Facebook when you're with all these beauty queen girls and pageants and things. And there's one thing that comes to mind, and it is I feel so bad for all the girls behind the scenes because they're having head games run on them by Margarita.
It's bad.
Is it?
Right.
Are you guys all like fucking with each other? Mentally, that is.
People do. I don't. I'm a bit nonchalant about it, to be honest.
What is it really like back there behind the scenes?
In which one? American ones or British ones?
I don't know. Tell us the whole gamut. What does a beauty queen do, and how are the different contests, or what goes on in like
Well,
a
I
week
came
of your
into
life?
it when I did a photo shoot with Alan Strutt, who's a photographer, he's a model photographer, and he's a celebrity photographer.
Okay.
So when I left drama school, I did a photo shoot with him, and he said, hey, there's Miss London coming up. And I was like, Miss what? Because, pageants aren't so popular in Britain. They love them in America and like Colombia and all that, but here, not so much. So he said, just do it. It's a bit of fun, blah, blah. I got Miss Southwest London from that, and then I carried on. So to me, I was new to it. It's not like I was accustomed to it, but in Britain, a lot of girls are. Okay. So when you go backstage, they're like, oh, what the hell's going on? Like, what are we wearing? This is all a bit odd. So it's nice. Some of the best friends I have are from that scene. Now, when I did swimsuit internationals and I went to America, completely different.
Why?
Because they compete.
Okay.
So when you come in a room, they're like this. Straight away. And you're like, it burns.
So they're gaming you mentally.
Yeah.
And do girls break from that, or can they?
You see them cry.
Okay. On stage or just backstage?
Backstage. They do cry. I mean, and because I never took it seriously, because I was, as you know, first wanted to act, then trained in acting, then started my career, and now I'm actually, the reason I went to Australia is to actually do it. I didn't really care. I kind of took it as a part, I think it's fun. And it does give you that adrenaline because it is on stage, but I would never cry. And I guess a lot of these girls do have family pressures and all that stuff, don't they?
Wow. And what was happening in Australia? You said you went down there to do it.
I went down there for 2 weeks, and everywhere I go, I kind of try and meet managers and agents just to see any English-speaking country, you can work there. Well, in my field, you can anyway. And I found that they were just so much more receptive to my look and what I'm like, and they liked my show reel and everything. So I thought, why not I just go there for 6 months and see what it's like? And just in the last month of being there, I shot a commercial for TV, like numerous ads for print, everything, So I'm just working a lot more there than I am out here.
Wow.
And I think I realized why, because I got on the train today and I was like overwhelmed by the amount of people.
I thought you were saying I'm overwhelmed by the amount of ugliness.
They're so ugly. No, but there's so many people. They're just,
Here or there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I never realized it, how big London is, because I've always grown up in a main city, and then you go to Sydney and it's like big fish, small pond kind of thing.
Is that the way you feel down there?
You can get an audition for something big if you want to.
Okay, and this here would be hard in London?
So much harder.
Or impossible?
Yeah.
And how does that compare to LA?
I haven't been yet, but I'm going.
Okay.
And I want to see what it's like, and not because I'm like, oh my God, I want to be famous, but just to see what it's like. Because if I'm going to do this, I might as well do it 110% as opposed to just, there's people who want to act and just say that they want to act and then just sit there wanting to act. And
How old do you know?
Me, 23.
Cool. How long do you foresee this career going on for?
It has to go on forever, because if you invest in something, you carry it on. Like, it might not necessarily carry on in the same field. It might go into, I don't know, directing or if it's pageants running them. But there's no point having life experience, say till I'm about 30, and then going, okay, what should I be now? An accountant?
So I'm going to hit you with one of the tough questions early on. I was trying to think of how to phrase this on the way over here on the train.
Go on.
Do you not ever feel that basing your whole career around something which ultimately comes down to being a winner in the genetic lottery is a vacuous existence?
No, because acting is not based on genetics.
So would you say being a beauty queen is the same as acting? Because that...
No, to me it's a part because I did it for a year. And I did all the best ones and biggest ones I could do. And it was fun, man. It was amazing. And you get to travel.
So you're kind of doing like anything out there. You'll model or do
Yeah.
beauty queens or act if they want or do commercials. It's all kind of like just media. You and the media push. Okay. Wow.
Absolutely.
And you're 23, so you were 20 in my film. Man,
That was a breakthrough role.
she lied on her application.
I always lie.
Do you miss the stage? Because I know when I
So
talked to
badly.
you,
Do you know
used
that?
to really like the stage, didn't you?
Oh, I love it. And that's the thing. That's why I talk to people and they're like, wait, this doesn't make sense. You trained in theatre and then you did pageants and then you did modelling. What? You know? But it's just the way it's happened. And I'm not someone who turns things down. I'd rather do something than not do something. I'm not going to be there going, no, darling, I just do stage, please. You know? It just doesn't work that way.
What is the difference between like people that might not know, like modeling and being a beauty queen, or even runway, as opposed to like say photography and modeling? I mean, they're very, very different businesses, right?
They're very different. I have more confidence than anything in acting because, you know, I sat there and I trained in it for so long and I feel like, oh, if I can't do this, then, you know, I can use a technique to make it better or I can sit down with myself and realize what went wrong or try something. However, in modeling, it's just like you said, you look good or you don't look good and that's it.
Is it that simple with modeling, or do you have to have like the right attitude or
Of course you do, yeah.
the right
but
frame
I wouldn't,
of mind?
And pageants, I believe, are not necessarily set up, but it is a perception because if us three run a pageant and us three hate, I don't know, blondes, then our winner isn't going to be one. She could be better looking than someone else, you know. So it's all about what kind of person you are and everything.
Is that because the judges are influenced by who they're employed by ultimately?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are the things you don't like about those industries, in particular modeling and beauty pageants?
I don't like it that I can't. Well, I can if I really want to, but I don't want to at this stage of my life. Make my own work, you know, because if I want to act, then I'd have to have my own production company, my own theatre company, my own everything. If
So
I
you have
want
to
to
woman for someone else,
continuously
basically.
do what I want to do, and I like to be a strong person whereby I decide what I want to do. But sometimes you're like, really, and if you want to work, you have to. And it's also, I don't like that you have to audition all the time. I mean, I love auditioning, but can you imagine, like, say you're a banker and you have to interview for a different bank every day?
That's interesting.
It's like, come on.
Is that for commercials or for what?
For everything.
For everything.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly auditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would get a little old after a while.
You know, I was reading Cosmopolitan and it said how to get through an interview. And I'm like, every day.
Your first mistake was reading Cosmopolitan.
Oh, yeah, man.
God, I hate that magazine.
You do? Why?
Have you guys
You're reading it every month?
Have you seen that spoof on it's going around Facebook where it's like it's taken a Cosmo magazine cover, and then it's, you know how it's got like a headline for all the different articles, and every single headline is about sex on this spoof. It's quite funny.
I was looking at it, and inside it's got this whole section in the middle of naked guys, not so much naked, but you know, covered up. And I thought, how funny is that? Men and women. Men will have like zoo or nuts, and you will see that there's naked women inside. On the cover, you can see it. On a Cosmopolitan, there's a girl on the cover.
Yeah.
Like, how did you do your makeup? You open inside, it's like naked guys and sex. It's funny how women are so different to guys the way they present the outer.
Well, men are more visual, right?
Yeah.
We're more visual
That's what they
creatures.
say. They say women are more auditory. I don't know. Is that
Really?
really true?
I'm not sure.
No? Thought you were going to answer these questions for us. Here, these breaking questions.
But I'm the one who almost always finds myself with girls having a different opinion to most women. So I don't know.
Are you very different than the girls that you compete against in some of these pageants?
Yes, because that is their ultimate career goal.
Okay.
like you said.
It's just
Yeah.
what genetics, the genetic competition.
So do you think a bunch of them are going to hit like 35 and just be like, what the fuck am I going to do with the rest of my life?
No, they'll be married to someone rich.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Or probably will have divorced him and taken all his cash. right?
Exactly. That's their plan, isn't it?
What is the behind the scenes like at the beauty pageant? I mean, like, yeah, what goes on there, or what doesn't go on?
But, you know, the big ones, you spend about a week there.
Okay.
When I went to America and Mexico, I spent 4 weeks there. So in the beginning, it's all tense and everyone's looking at each other. By the second week, you're having fun. By the third week, you've made friends and forgotten why you're there. And then by the fourth week, when it actually happens, you're like, oh, that's why. Like, you know, it's bizarre. I mean,
Do girls like outpose each other? Like I saw some pictures where like everybody was posing, but everyone was trying to get a hip in here or hip in there. Or is it like that? Okay.
Yeah.
When the camera comes out, does everyone change a little bit? Okay.
yeah, always.
I guess that's the way it should be.
And they'll be
right?
like, oh my God, she just got taken a photo of twice and I got taken a photo of once. Why did she get taken a photo of? Do you think that photographer works at that company that sponsors this? And I'm like, really?
But also, pictures last forever. I mean, you get a bad picture, and that goes floating around, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh, she's not that attractive because it's a bad light or
Yeah.
something, right?
You mentioned that to you it's just a part, and based on my first impression of you, you seem pretty intelligent. It doesn't seem like this part requires much in the way of brain power to play, and doesn't it become ultimately boring? Because it would be like Einstein having to work in a factory stamping boxes or something like that, I guess. Maybe it's not the best analogy, but
Yeah. But if Einstein got to travel to a different country and stay in a cool hotel and experience life for a couple of weeks, and for a few hours of the day he had to like count some stamps, I'm not sure if Einstein wants to do those things, but he might do it.
interesting.
Who's your favorite actor, or who do you want to be when you grow up?
You, Brian?
Besides me,
That was a good one.
That's the obvious answer.
That was really good, Margaret.
Everyone knows that. Is it Michael Fassbender? Because that's who I want to be
No, that's who you want to marry.
someday. Someday.
You know, there's guys, American guys, who pay to go to these pageants.
Okay.
And then, you know, afterwards they'll hang out at the bar to meet beauty queens.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's the scene that I'm curious about, because like I kind of see these kind of leechy dudes in the back, or maybe they're nice dudes, or maybe they're normal dudes. I don't know, but like, is there that guy that wants to hook up with a beauty queen
Yeah.
scene?
Yeah.
Can you see them a mile away?
Yeah, they actually pay like thousands in order to like come in and
be
stand there
VIP.
for a bit. Yeah.
That just blows my mind.
Wow.
There are a bunch of dudes who follow like beauty pageants around, and
Yeah, and they have a tour bus that they get on.
you are kidding me.
And then they get off, like, say there's a venue and there's an event where, you know, they'll be hosting a party and we have to host a party and everyone's having drinks, blah, blah, blah. There'll be a tour bus of dudes who've paid who will, not
Okay.
in all of them, not in British ones. Apologies to, like, people who are like, oh my God, Miss England, Miss Universe. No, they don't do that. Obviously, people buy tickets to watch a show and you never know what people's intentions are because anybody can buy a ticket. But in American ones, there'll be a little tour bus that, you know.
And do these dudes actually end up ever banging any of the beauty queens?
If they do,
It's
that
paid
girl
for.
gets disqualified.
Oh, seriously?
Really? Is there a strict behavioral?
Yeah.
Oh, really? What's the deal? Like you can't fraternize the
I
whole
can't.
time?
Yeah. You
Really?
can't. I tried to smoke once, and they were like, "Excuse me."
Really?
Jesus.
Just not in front of anyone?
Yeah.
So they have guys here, but you can't talk to them? How's that work? Or you can talk to the guys, but
You
that's
can
it.
talk to them. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
that's
no
it.
fraternizing during
No.
the pageant. Really? Oh, I never would have thought
That's
that.
interesting, huh?
And they can, wow.
So who did they pay the thousands of dollars to?
To the company that runs it.
Do these companies make mad money?
They say they don't, but I can see a way that they could. Like if I run one, I could see how I could make a lot of money from it. Which is why, like, I don't think I'd ever want to run a pageant because you know it's a bit sad because a lot of girls are really young and you're like, oh come on, kid. But you could make a lot of money. Think about it. You take a venue, I don't know, any nightclub. You say I'll bring 60 really good-looking girls. They'll give you the nightclub for free, or whatever, and then people pay to be in a pageant sometimes. Other people come to watch. Just like you could make money,
Wow.
but they say
Bizarre,
they don't.
right?
Are some of these girls like 18? Or is there a cutoff age? Okay.
18 to 25.
Do you see some girls and you're like, she's just way too fragile to be here. She just should not be in this pageant. And like when she loses, she's going to be crushed, and this is not a healthy option. Okay.
Did you ever see some girls
And you go right for her throat.
I know, darling.
I put super glue in her hairspray. I had a question. So just back to this traveling tour of creepy guys. So these,
Where do they buy the tickets? Is that where you're going?
Yeah, get me a ticket.
That can't surprise you.
Well, it does, because so these guys pay $1,000 to the company, but then the company tells you guys that you can't fraternize with them. So I kind of see a conflict of interest here, right?
Because it's not they're not buying sex. They're buying to, like, if you go and buy tickets to watch a football game, doesn't mean you can have sex with David Beckham. You know what I mean? It's not like a B, and therefore it leads to that. They're like fans. They get love pageants. So there's nothing like weird about it. But when I see them, I'm like, seriously?
Wow.
Go home.
Yeah, it's
What do you do?
fucked up, dude. That's
crazy.
Blows my mind, right?
So when you go to LA, what is like ideally that's going to happen to you? I mean,
I just
besides
want to
the
see what
obvious.
it's like because, you know, everybody hates it.
Do they?
Everybody I've talked to hates it. Everyone's like, oh my God, people there are so fake. And blah, blah, blah. I want to see what this fake is. I want to see what it's like.
There's an element of truth to that. Like, LA is a very artificial place. I mean, it's such a cliche to even say it.
Dude, I hate on LA, and next time I'm going to stay in Venice. I'm not going to stay in West Hollywood, and I'm going to try to come from a different perspective and like stay away from the whole.
What is
Do you-
that?
do you
I'm
hate
better
LA?
than all you people.
Yeah.
See, everybody hates
Like
it.
I always stayed like in the West Hollywood and around there where all the bars, the sky bars, and everyone's just really, it's just too much. And
What are they like? Tell me before I go so I don't freak out.
you're going to be fine. you're going to eat them for breakfast and spit them out.
You're gonna be fine. Those are your people.
Do you have agents out there or people to meet, or are you just going to
Yeah,
go
I'm
in
going to
cold?
meet people there.
Okay. Are
A
they?
joining agent to my agent in Australia, basically.
Okay, so people that'll kind of.
Yeah, because Australia, what Sydney does is they do a lot of pilots for America. You know, have you seen this influx of Australian actors coming out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've noticed
yeah,
that
a bit.
actually. Yeah.
That's what it is. And America, for some reason, now thinks they're good because, you know, of Heath Ledger and everybody. All those kind of people that are, oh, they can act. So now all these American casting directors and everything will come to Sydney. Whilst England's got really insular. I don't know. And plus, I'm seen as really foreign in England, so I'm just sick of playing someone's like Russian nanny or, you
You
know.
seem foreign.
Yeah,
I mean, you have a what, Russian or Ukrainian surname?
Ukrainian surname,
Are you
Russian background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have an English accent,
Yeah, that's
kind
weird.
of. When you want to, you do.
I'm like the eternal foreign kid, you know what I mean? I'm foreign everywhere I go. Here, they're like, oh, where are you from? Oh, maybe Russia, da, 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 maybe Australia, maybe America. I'm like, where'd you get that from? In Australia, they're like, oh, you're so British. You know, everywhere, I'm foreign.
Were you born here?
I came here when I was 5.
Okay. What do you think of Sydney? I mean, Nick spent some time there. I spent some time there a long time ago.
Brian, we don't talk about Sydney.
Where?
What happened to you out there?
Nick has bombed it in his life. So, but we can talk about that later. What do you think of Sydney? What do you think of Australian actors? Do you think they have skills? Or do you think they're overrated? Or
I think they're good.
are they better looking than
Yeah,
English people?
Australian people are better looking than English people.
Man, there it is.
That's dangerous,
I'm going
huh?
to tweet that quote.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Can you expand on that?
I think it's the outdoors lifestyle and the sun makes people better looking. Of course it does, you know?
Yeah, you get a
because
whole bunch of
they're-
vitamin D, right?
Yeah, and they know that they're most of the time going to have to be in broad shorts or in a bikini. So they're not like, F this, I'm just going to eat donuts. They're like, oh, you know, I have to look good.
Dude, you know what I noticed is like when I went to Australia, like, man, I work out. You know, you and I in England, we're pretty buff dudes.
I
We
know,
work
but
out.
that's in
See,
England.
that's what I'm saying.
I got to Australia and I was like that skinny kid who gets sand kicked in his face on the beach. I was like, fucking hell,
Remember-
everyone is fucking
You
ripped.
emailed me. I mean, like
Yeah.
you're like in good shape. You're like a high level black belt jiu-jitsu guy, and then you go down there and you're like everyone's Thai boxing and everyone's fighting and doing.
Yeah,
all this
everyone's really outdoorsy, yeah.
stuff. Wow. Is that your thing? Do you like it down there?
I pretend I work out, but I don't.
Okay. No, I mean working out, but I meant like Sydney. I mean,
I hated it when I first went. I didn't have people I know there, and I'm like codependent as a person.
Seriously, you'd admit that? Codependent?
Yeah, I'm completely codependent
Wow.
on a person or on like
on
something
you
else?
guys at the moment.
Okay. All right, we're gonna be strong for you. So you didn't know anybody?
No, and I hate that.
Okay.
By codependent, I mean I like to be able to say these chairs are amazing. I'd be like, look, Brian, aren't these chairs amazing? And you going, yeah, and enjoying that experience with me
Okay.
means a lot to me, as opposed to me walking around Sydney going, oh, isn't this nice?
Wow.
I don't value that.
When did
I'm
you
alive.
notice that about yourself? No, because a lot of people would take them to the 35 or watching 10 episodes of London Real to understand what they're doing in their own head.
Oh, always. I'm always really conscious of my own mind. I'll always sit there and analyze how my brain works. It's really weird. And I try and sit there and go, okay, it doesn't matter that there isn't people around. You can enjoy this by yourself, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I can't travel very well alone. But you said you travel well alone.
Yeah,
but
I
at the
dig
same,
it.
I was in Rio alone, and I was like, I'm fine. I have a beautiful city, and I would go out running at night. But like at the end of the day, it would have been nice probably to be there.
Man, for me, nothing is better than arriving in a foreign city on my own, and that's
Really?
it. Like, no one to worry about. Yeah, I dig that.
And a week later, you're still feeling the same way.
Well, in a week, I would have made loads of friends, you know?
Really?
And yeah, and it forces you to be social, right? You have to, like, I mean, if you walk into a bar by yourself, like, unless you actively make friends, you're going to be that cat standing at the bar alone all night. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like...
I tried that, but it's a very different experience.
I'm sure it must be kind of different
How
for
so?
you.
I don't.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I want to know. How so?
If I walk into a bar alone, it creates a really bad impression. Why is she standing there alone?
Okay.
Why is she trying to make friends? I mean, I went to a casino in Sydney, and someone went, "Oh, how much?"
Okay.
I wasn't dressed like a whore,
Okay.
Brian.
They just-
I was dressed normally.
Margarita, how many times a day do you get hit on average?
Where?
Well, in general, like in London.
I get weird men going, "Oh, baby, very nice," and all this stuff. But I don't get an attractive, normal guy coming up to me going, "Hi, you know,
You don't,
what are you
huh?
up to?" No, never.
I was thinking you might have bumped into a friend of ours called Krauser, but I guess not.
We had a pickup artist on the episode who walked up to girls in the street and opened them up and talked to them and tried to take them for coffee. And he took us out on Oxford Street and taught us how to do this. So
How do you do it?
Well, you just walk up to them and you stop them and you say something really quite simple, like, you know, I saw you in The Supremacy and I wanted to get your autograph. Something like that. And then, you know, you just talk to her like a normal person and he just teaches you how to do that and how not to do that.
Is he attractive?
No, by no means. Sorry, Nick. But he's no. And that what I think makes his art a little more
You know
interesting.
The Game, that book?
Any
Yeah.
self-respecting guy who says he doesn't know the game is lying to you.
Exactly.
But there might be a lot of them out there. So
The
Did you read it?
problem with that book is you can get a lot of women, obviously, but the point isn't getting a lot of women. The point is getting quality, isn't it?
Wow.
Over quantity.
So, expand on
I'm not
this.
convinced.
Tell me though.
Because, I mean, okay, so let's reverse it. Say I want to pick up a lot of guys. Of course, I could pick up a lot of different weird ass, like whatever guys, but the point is getting guys who are actually attractive, ambitious, you know, everything like that. So 5 of those counts for like so many of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
kinda
think the
understand
game
what
is
you
really based on.
It's about quantity, not quality, or is the game more about a guy having choice?
Do you reckon?
Well,
That's what
Good
I
point,
thought. That's
Brian.
what
Yeah, I
I
agree with
thought.
Brian.
I thought because most guys have no idea how to game. It's almost like an animal being born that doesn't know how to eat. But most guys are taught probably the opposite things when they're young as to how to treat women.
Really?
But that's a whole nother episode.
Oh, really? Damn.
But it's interesting that you asked her that question and like you said normal guys don't actually approach you and say hello to you.
No.
And what if they did?
The 3 that did have been my boyfriends. So
Dude, you know what that says to me?
Every London reeler is going to be stalking you
Yeah,
for the
we
next
have
2
to be
weeks.
we have to be doing that more often, right?
I guess so.
I mean,
if you want to
you know what Tim Ferriss says, which I find I apply to all aspects of my life, is he says because so few people are willing to take the action or the measures to achieve extraordinary things, it's actually much easier to do harder things than it is to do difficult things.
That is it.
I mean,
read
to
that.
do easy things, which is, you know what I mean? So like if you see like a girl who's average looking, everyone's going to go for her, right? So the competition is much harder. Whereas the good looking girl, everyone's scared of going for her, so your competition is automatically much lower, right? And I think that's quite interesting.
It's weird kind of game theory,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is game
It
theory.
is, and that is a better. You should write that book.
Working on it.
It's happening.
It is. It's that concept. Like if you want to be something ridiculously amazing, it's much easier than something that everyone's going for.
Are you a super driven person?
So badly, like I can't even like describe.
I know a guy.
Do you want things so much you can taste them? I mean, is it like really?
No, but I'm like, if I don't get this, how am I going to live with myself? Kind of
Okay.
person.
Okay.
So
And
how
ever-
did you meet Brian again? Just out of interest, like, because it sounds like you were separated at birth.
I cast her.
There you
I
go.
cast. Well, I mean, I interviewed. No, sorry. What do I call it? I auditioned like 8 girls for the part of what was your part? Dutch.
Dutch.
And yeah, you know, Margarita kind of killed it in the audition. So there you go.
Are we similar?
Dude.
Why
don't
aren't
know.
we friends?
Brian is the
don't know.
most like driven, ambitious cat I know by far. It's scary actually.
That's why I came in here and I saw this and I was like, I wish I had more realization of my ideas because you really have that. You know, like, I think you thought of that film and you made it happen. You thought of this and you make it happen. You know, it's
And
really
he's
admirable.
extremely good looking.
That too.
So it's the complete package.
I was just thinking how extremely good looking all of us are. But anyways, that's another note. Do you sometimes check yourself and you're like, Margarita, calm the fuck down. You don't need to be next to Michael Fassbender on the next blockbuster next year. Give yourself a few years.
Is that a thought you
that?
personally have actually had, Brian?
Shut the fuck up. Let me answer the question.
I've thought that, and I thought, how are people happy without achieving amazing things?
Okay.
And I want to know.
How they're happy without achieving that
Yeah.
amazing thing.
How are those people happy?
But you must have tough years, tough 6-month periods where you're not achieving everything you want.
Yeah,
Like
and
you-
then I'm really, really unhappy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like Buddhists say, contentment is the one true wealth, right?
Yeah, exactly. And how do people have that?
Well, we were talking about the ego-based
practice,
self-esteem
right?
earlier. That's a whole other story. All right, so do you have that goal then? I want to be doing that. Is it a movie you want to be in, or is a play, or you just want to impress
I
yourself?
want to choose my work. You know, I want people to go, oh, she's good at this, and offer me a wide range of. Isn't that in every career? That's what you want. You know, that's the idea about success, is that you can choose in the field, whatever field you choose, what it is you do.
It's an interesting way to
Have
frame
you
it.
thought about directing or creating a film project on your own?
On my own, I'd find it difficult because I don't have, as such, yet a story that I want to tell. I mean, I could churn one out. I could sit there and think of one, but there isn't one like
Well,
you
you're
know,
way too young,
resonating.
dude. Like, give it a few
Yeah,
years.
exactly. So there isn't one. So I'm not going to make one just to make a film. You know, I don't need to.
Coming back to films, I'd really like to know what Brian was like on the set of The Supremacy.
Yeah.
He was on set most of the time, so I didn't really
What do you mean?
like. He wasn't around me most of the time.
Oh, right.
Margarita showed up late on the
I
first
did.
day of filming.
Actually,
her only
messed
day of
my alarm.
filming.
Yeah,
On the second day.
I was only there for a day, and
was,
he was always on set. so.
Prima Donna Central. Mm-hmm.
But I turned up early today to make up for it.
Really? Okay, nothing will ever make up for that, just so you know. But we rolled. No, it was good. Yeah, I don't know. What was that movie set like? You've been on movie sets before.
Yeah, but I mean, I was in makeup, and then I did my scene, and then it was done. You know, it was as good as any other movie
Yeah,
set, Brian.
It was pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Fair enough.
It was good.
Cool.
Do you act?
I don't.
You were almost in that movie, actually.
Dude,
almost
I'd love to have been in that movie.
Yeah, but you was just like scheduling conflicts.
Right.
You were almost in martial arts.
How did you get roped into this?
Into this, I think Brian and I mutually roped each other, right?
Into this? Oh, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, do tell.
Brian and I were taking this chat. We used to meet every couple of weeks and just walk through the West End. And we were listening to a podcast at the time, which we still listen to, the Joe Rogan Experience. And we were just discussing some of the topics that we'd heard on there and some of our own beliefs. And I think I said to you, dude, this would make an amazing podcast. And then
I said that.
or you said that. And
Obviously.
then the next thing I knew, there was a microphone jammed in my eye socket, and Brian do it. And this is what happened. And it's been a wild ride.
It's grown from there. You're number 39.
It's a good number.
Yeah, it's a crazy number. So when do you go to LA?
On the 13th, Friday the 13th.
Okay. Wow.
That's cool.
And you're going to be there for how
Can
long?
I ask a question?
Yeah.
Because turbulence on an airplane, yeah? Is that common?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're supposed
Because
to always be
people-
belted, right?
Yeah, because people tell me oh, I've had the smoothest ride, blah, blah. Every single time I fly somewhere, there's glasses flying around, trays not being able to stand, the delay on serving the food, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I've thought this is normal. I spoke to people yesterday, and they're like, no.
Maybe you're bad luck, huh?
Apparently you can hit the ceiling if you're not strapped in.
I've heard about that dudes breaking their
Flight
nose
in
on the ceiling
Japan
and
where the guys
stuff.
went straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty common actually.
Please always buckle your seat. Wow.
Yeah, because it goes into, what's it called? Like a...
Like a dip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see that Air France flight that crashed, from Brazil? They got all the readings now, and they know they just went into the stall, and all of them fell down for minutes.
Do you know
before
what's
they all
crazy?
died.
I'd taken that flight
What happened?
twice,
Tell
dude.
me.
That exact flight.
Oh, from Brazil to Paris.
Rio to Paris. I'd taken that flight
It was
twice.
So what did...
It was a transatlantic flight, and they went into a stall, but they couldn't tell they were stalling, so they cut back on the power when they should have put the nose down and added power, and they just went up into a big stall in the middle of the Atlantic, and then they just fell down, 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 until they all died.
Jesus.
Anyways, but
I wonder what
next time
happens
it won't
in that
happen.
moment when it's falling.
You
think it's
don't
not a
feel very
nice-
cool, I don't think.
I think you hit terminal velocity, but I don't think it's very nice because I think at that point it's pretty much over. But
What
yeah.
does that mean, terminal velocity?
Terminal velocity is like when you're skydiving, so you jump out of the plane and you accelerate until that's as fast as you can go, and then there's no more acceleration, so your stomach doesn't feel like you're falling. It's just you and the air resistance. So it's probably like 250 miles an hour.
Wow. Nothing could prepare you for that moment, right? I mean, I was going to ask you, what do you think would go through your mind? But
That's
it's such
what
a
I
stupid
thought.
question because you just have no idea what would happen at that point,
I thought
right?
that is the most horrible idea, because say you're on a ship and it sinks, there's that human instinct to try and get off the ship or run. You might die anyway, but you've got that.
Drowning, though, that's gotta suck.
No, but before you're drowning, so the plane,
burning?
the ship is sinking. Okay, the ship is sinking, you're trying to get off, or the building's burning, you're trying to get out. But on a plane, there's no action. You're just sitting there.
Yeah.
And
No, there'll be plenty of action.
Just like warning lights.
in the
But you
last
can
few
probably
minutes.
actually have a few words with your close ones. Hug your kids.
This is getting dark, bro. Let's steer this somewhere else. Wow. It's Saturday,
What would
Brian.
you be thinking?
I'd be thinking, I wonder what I'm going to come back as.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you'd be thinking?
Yeah, probably.
What would you be thinking?
I'd be thinking,
Michael Fassbender.
I hope my beautiful face
Sorry.
doesn't get burned.
Oh, shut up. No, I'd be thinking close. I hope like it finishes, as opposed to, when it kind of falls and you're kind of half dead and all that
yeah.
stuff. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Injured but not dead. Ooh.
Yeah, that's cool.
We had a nutritionist on last week. Name is Ben Pratt. A really interesting guy. Told us about things about diet, the paleo diet. He likes unpasteurized milk, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you're in a business where you have to be fit pretty much all the time.
I thought this was still part of the plane conversation. I was like,
Really? You never know where I'm going to go. So what do you eat? And how do
On
you
the
do
plane.
that? And what do the girls eat? And do they throw up? And what's it like? What is it really like?
actually, when I was waiting for you, I went to get a coffee and they said, "Do you want some carrot cake?" And I said, "No." Because yesterday, I go through, and it's like, I'm not the healthiest person. I wish I was like healthy, but when I want to lose weight, it's simple. You eat protein, you eat vegetables.
No starch or carbs,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. So that's just simple, and then you drop
train?
weight fast.
Do you do cardio?
If I have to lose weight, yeah.
Okay.
But then if I don't, I eat whatever I want for like a week, and then I'll be like, man, I don't feel comfortable now. I don't feel happy. My things are tight. Mm-hmm. And then I'll do that thing of
Do you
that
sit in
healthy
your room and
thing.
cry?
No, I'll be like, man, can't eat cake now. Shit.
Okay, fair enough.
So do you have a specific diet? Or do the girls a lot of times have diets? Or is it...
Yeah, they pretend they don't, but they do.
Okay.
Oh, there are a bunch of bunch of them taking like ephedra and other thermogenic compounds and diet pills and stuff.
I don't know. I don't really ask them, but I suppose they probably do.
Does everybody work out together for like those 2 weeks before competition? Does
They
everyone-
work out. They work out. I don't work out.
You just watch them.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed though as well, man, is women who work out too much, their bodies like take on this weird kind of, especially when they get a little bit older, they get kind of like almost like stringy looking. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Are
do
you
you know what I'm
talking
talking about?
like fitness model or like Demi Moore? She is 50 for God's sakes.
I think like any kind of extraneous working, like if you look at a girl who does too much CrossFit, she starts looking like a man because she gets a six pack and like delts and stuff, which I personally don't find appealing. And B, like especially when she gets a little bit older, like her, she looks drawn. Like I don't know. I don't think it's a good thing for.
Is it a fine line in these beauty pageants where you don't want a girl to be too muscular? Like you don't want to see abs in a beauty pageant, right? Because that's like
No.
almost too far. And if the girl's too strong, then they'll be like,
Yeah,
Is there like this somewhere
if
medium,
if you're overweight or if you're too, the idea is to look feminine, isn't it?
but too skinny, and they don't want you either?
No.
So it's completely
Which
different
is
than like,
sometimes I kind of look at pageants and I'm like, hey, maybe this is a good thing.
Okay.
Because they do appreciate what women are naturally supposed to look like, as opposed to runway
right, which is the way thin, super thin models.
or fitness modeling, which is too much. Like you have to work out strenuously all the time.
Those girls work
Aren't there
out.
like pageants for like obese chicks in the States now?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they?
That's crazy.
Plus size models as well.
Why are they encouraging that?
That is a very good question. Why are they encouraging that?
I hate that. I hate that so much.
You hate what? Fat people?
Why are you so full of hatred?
I think they're just celebrating, just like plus size models. Can't we all just get along?
Plus size is great. I love size 12, 14, whatever, but obese. And it's
Okay.
like encouraging somebody to hurt themselves, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
You talked about Latin America, like Colombia. They're crazy for beauty queens, right?
Yes, they
like
love
they
it.
crank out
Seriously?
There's like a Miss America school in Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Where they take them when they're like 14 or 15, and they like it's almost like finishing school, but beauty finishing
just
school.
mind-blowing.
And they
I
put
know
'em-
girls who went there from England as a, like to see it.
right.
And when Miss Ireland went to Miss Universe, they took her there. And they do train girls from like 14 onwards.
What do they do? How do they train them?
Oh, I don't know. I've never been, but I don't know what they do.
And what do they do? Like make them walk or make them talk?
Make them
or-
walk, make them talk.
They get surgery?
Yeah.
Okay. Colombia's won like a bunch of them, right? They had like
Yeah,
a
most of them are like South American
Right.
that win, but that's because they turn 18 and they're like, okay, nose, boobs, lips, hair, everything done.
Wow.
So there's nothing against surgery in the pageants you've been in.
Did you see that a guy got into Miss Universe?
No. I
Come
didn't.
on. Seriously?
Yeah. He had a sex change. Miss Canada. Google it.
Well, he did it on the sly, or he got in.
He
like-
got it on the sly, and he's
Okay.
one of those guys who you look at and you think, oh my god, that's such a beautiful woman.
Right.
You know, they happen. And he had a sex change. And then they found out he was actually a guy, and they proposed to Donald Trump, and they were like, what are we going to do? And he said, it's fine, it's allowed. How is that allowed?
Dude, the hottest girls in Thailand are the Ladyboys. Let's be honest.
Dude, that is the God's honest truth, right?
I thought I was gonna get some flack
No,
here.
that is God. It is. It's true. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how it is, but he is beautiful.
Yeah, in Thailand they're the tallest, and then they juice up on the hormones, and they just like they own it.
you know, in Thailand, they're actually people who are transgender are looked at as kind of like a third gender.
Yeah.
Like it's so common.
They
not-
like it. Like
Yeah.
some mothers groom their sons to become that, though.
I guess it's considered like a third gender, and there's not a lot of this, Judeo-Christian anti thing. So it's like, oh, they're just ladyboys. Get over it.
It kind of freaks me out. I gotta be honest. The whole like transgender
Transgender thing?
sex changes, and I don't know, dude. Like, just be happy with what you are, right?
Maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna stop trying to nail you down on your career goals because you're not answering me. So how long have you been in Hollywood for?
A week.
That's it?
Might go back.
Okay, just meet with some agents.
But I might hate it, I might hate it like all these people hate it, and
Just don't go in with that bad mentality. You'll be fine. You're gonna love it. There's some
I
great
think I'll
things.
love
Go
it.
to Venice, go to Venice Beach because it's a little bit different. And
I
it's
really
cool.
dig LA, dude. It's an awesome place.
You like it, yeah?
I don't think I want to live there because the fakeness would drive you mad. But
What do you mean when you say fakeness, by the way? Is it plastic surgery or
Let's
is
do
it...
lunch. I think there's a lot of let's do lunch and yeah, hey, what's up, buddy? You're my buddy, and then like they're just really not. Whereas I think in New York, people are like, fuck you, And I think in London, they're probably just like, I'm not going to talk to you if they're English. I don't know. Nothing against our English fans. But yeah, I think that's what it's known for. Let's do lunch.
Yeah.
Let's do lunch.
Let's do lunch.
But like Nick said, or we always say, if you go with that perception, then you'll probably find that. So.
we're gonna put you in touch with Sandra.
Oh yeah. She was a guest from a few weeks. No, she lives in Venice. Actually, I will put you in touch with her.
She's a celebrity reporter, celebrity journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Brunette?
blonde, but she lives in Venice, which I like Venice. It's honestly Venice is kind of becoming like the Shoreditch. Not that Shoreditch is the greatest place, but it's kind of like cool, but it's still like got the ex bodybuilder stuff and a little bit of grit, and it's not as glammy
Yeah,
as,
it's cool.
as Hollywood.
I dig working out on the rings and stuff.
You were down there,
Yeah,
right?
so much fun. Yeah.
You like LA?
Yeah, it's a cool place. The climate, dude. It's sunny every single day. You can't get up. You can't fault that, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. Is there theater work and stuff in London for you, or is that something that's not on your radar?
In London?
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I'm not really thinking about London at the moment.
It's either going to be LA or back to
Sydney.
Oz.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would keep you from moving to Sydney?
Work here.
Okay. But you have friends down there, and now it's cool.
I've realised that if I've got things I can work on, I'll make friends through it and then I'm fine. But being here, I don't get as much work as I do out there, so naturally I'm going to go there.
What's
Just the way it
what's
is.
the best and worst thing about Sydney? I want to ask you.
The worst thing is that I'll summarize it with a story. I got on a bus. I said, excuse me, does this bus go to Circular Quay?
What were you doing taking a bus?
I was.
Okay.
Listen. And he goes, can't you read the front of the bus? And I was like, well, clearly I can't. Clearly I can't read the front of the bus. Who answers like that? In London, they'll be like, yes, it does, and no, it
You
doesn't.
should have said, "Do you know who I am?"
Do you know who
You
I
will.
am?
You'll be able to say that someday. You'll be able to like, "Do you know who I am?"
Man, do you know what happened?
But she's not done with her bus
Oh,
story.
you done with
I'm done
No,
with the bus
Yeah,
that was
that's
it?
right.
Yeah. But that's the thing.
best
They're
or the
not
worst
helpful.
part. Oh, in Sydney, they're not.
Yeah, they're just like not.
Is that true, Nick?
Man, I don't talk about Sydney anymore. But,
What, did they traumatize you out there?
Do you know what happened to you in the tube yesterday? I was walking down. Now we're all Londoners. We all know it. You stand on the right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you
So-
think it's weird that we're so obsessed with that sometimes?
So yeah, I try not to let stuff like that
I
bother
get
me.
mad
but-
at tourists.
It
I'm like,
bothers me.
Fucking Italians, get on the right.
So I'm walking down one of the long escalators. It's rush hour. and there's this dude standing next to this woman. He's standing on the left, she's standing on the right. And
you kicked him down.
I was so tempted, Margarita, seriously. So I said to him, "Hey, buddy, just to let you know, I thought he was a tourist, like in London."
Oh, you schooled
Yeah,
him?
I said, but very quickly I said, "We stand on the right."
You're turning into a Brit.
And so he says to me, "Yes, I know, I can read." So,
In an English accent.
So then you kicked him down.
so I said to him, "You can read, but you can't follow because it says stand on the right." And he's like, "Yes, but I'm standing next to my wife." And I was like, when your fist like cocks, because I just wanted to wind him. I was like,
No, I don't know that feeling.
yeah, dude, I had to
I know that
seriously-
feeling.
So what'd you do, really? What'd you do?
I had to go into this special place in my mind for when scenarios like that take place, and I had to like not rip his head off his neck.
So did you walk by him, or you wait?
No, he had moved because I'd like,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Have you ever punched anyone?
Oh my god, I'm so angry about that guy.
Yeah,
Really?
me too.
Dude, what's wrong with you guys? It's such a British thing to get mad about people on the damn escalator. It's just an
What's wrong with
escalator.
him? Why don't you talk about Sydney?
I just don't.
What happened there?
I don't know.
Why
Brian Maker, stop.
Margarita, we didn't have you on this show, so you would make Nick feel uncomfortable. All right, I'm changing topic.
Yeah.
I'm scared. What's gonna happen out there?
No, we won't. Everything's going to be fine. So who are your favorite actors? Besides Michael Fassbender.
You.
I mean, no, seriously, come on. Who do you see talent when you're like
I
Robert
think
Pattinson?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's amazing.
That's an obvious answer.
But he's amazing, dude. Come on.
He is.
I'm sorry,
come
but
on.
he didn't get that credit in the beginning, did he?
Who? DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Come on, he did though, right? Basketball Diaries? Are you kidding me?
No, but
that was a
for a while,
great
people just saw
film.
him as like,
What?
okay, he's pretty.
Yeah. What about? Come on. What's eating Gilbert Grape? I mean, he had acting skills, right?
He's amazing.
He just matured. All right. Who else besides him?
Just him.
What about females? Is there anyone besides you that's?
I don't
got
know. They're all
skills?
great, aren't they? I mean,
No. No. Tilda Swinton is on a different level. How come she's so good at what she does?
I guess she believes in it when she's doing it.
Did you see There's Something About Kevin?
No.
You haven't seen that yet, right?
I'm scared to watch it, dude.
You should be scared. Yeah.
I'm scared to
No,
watch
she
it.
believes it. She owns those roles, right?
What if
That's
you
the
had a kid
difference.
and you hated it?
Well, that's the movie is all about.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, in real life, imagine if you had a kid and you're just like, I
That
just
happens,
don't
doesn't it?
dig this kid.
It happened
happens a
in
lot.
In the movie, it happened a lot, really.
Yeah, but in the movie, the kid was a total bastard, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if your kid is totally cool and you still don't like
Just
it?
don't like him.
Yeah.
Then it turns out like you. That was unnecessary. Back to Sydney. No.
I was on the plane. I was on the plane and I was sitting next to a woman with her baby and her 2 kids under 5.
That sounds like a party.
I don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
After that
We were on the
experience.
same page. We were on the same page, Margarita.
Ever?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Why?
As a woman, you can't really say that, especially at 23.
That's a big debate, actually.
What do you mean?
Where was I reading this? It's like a few pages in the
Cosmopolitan.
newspaper. No, newspaper.
Newspaper.
The Sun. No, I'm kidding.
Sure it was.
And they were like, with women, whenever they get interviewed, they'll always get asked, "Do you want kids?" Like whatever. And if they say no or not really, they'll be like,
People jump on them.
"Yes, you do.
Just like I
yes,
did.
you will," and everything like that. But if a guy says no, they're like, "Okay, cool." Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's always like that with women. Why don't you? And people go right for that, which I guess it's really unfair, isn't it?
No, I've decided, like, if I
I can
ever-
tell you why not, but because of what I saw yesterday.
Lay it out there.
on that plane.
What happened?
Ooh.
What, misbehavior or your
She
responsibility?
just looked like the life was sucked out of her. all joy and personality, and her face was like this. She was like, and I just thought, why? Why did you do this?
Yeah.
Just in order to reproduce and feel like you've created something? I love my kids. Really? Like,
Do you have a relationship with any children?
no,
No? And you never will?
I don't know. Maybe like, if we stay friends and you have a child, I'll talk to it.
My godmother? That's not happening.
That's a concession.
So,
So you don't want kids either.
Not a fuck.
See,
Not a fuck.
but that's
But
okay.
look, the thing is, it might change, and sometimes
Of course, it might change. Yeah.
yeah, it might change. But right now, dude, I see it every time I get on the tube. There's a guy, his wife's walking in front, she's carrying the baby, and he's pushing the pram.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, the light has gone out of his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad had a friend when I was growing up, and he had a young family as well. And I remember one of the kids was hanging off his leg and screaming, and his wife was whining him, and he said, Greg, he said to my dad, this is not what I pictured my life was going to be. I thought when I was 35, I'd be riding a convertible on the Pacific Coast Highway, and I just remember that. That's stuck in my mind, you know, like, wow.
Yeah, I've got a similar vision. Like, you know, you hear all these women talking about how they can never lose the weight and they feel so bad about themselves and that they're no longer attractive and that this child is just like this demon child, and it's just like, and you can't go back on it. It's not like you get married, you can always get a divorce. It's a bit controversial, but you know, a child, you have to look after it. It's there.
Yeah, all right, you guys sold me. So back to these VIP guys at the pageant, and back to what you said earlier as far as guys talking to you and honking horns at you all day. Well, what I mean, you know, you're a beauty queen. You know, technically, guys are all over you at these pageants and stuff. Like, do these guys approach you with anything interesting to say? I mean, do these guys have any game whatsoever or not?
No, I don't think guys who follow around beauty pageants have game.
What is the biggest mistake guys make when it comes to approaching girls?
Trying to say something interesting.
Really? They should just say hi.
They'll be like, one day I was cruising in my boat down, and you're like, oh, just shut up.
So they're trying to impress you.
Yeah.
Okay. When they should just be yourself. That's nonsense advice.
No, dude, I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Provided yourself is cool.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. If you are, no offense, ugly, unattractive, you smell, you're not cool, then being yourself might not attract everybody, but it might attract somebody, just like one person out there or whatever. But you acting like a dick on top of it is probably going to lessen your chances.
So how do you sift through all the riffraff as a woman?
I don't sift really. I don't sit there looking for a relationship or somebody, so
It just kind of happens or doesn't
yeah.
happen. Okay.
I've never kind of sat there and thought about, I wanted to go out with somebody or so, I never had the sifting process.
Okay. What do you tell people you do when they ask you?
Marine biology.
Really? That would be cool.
Anything, really.
Do you make stuff up?
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, she was a real pain on my movie set.
Really, huh? I would
Yeah.
never have guessed.
Come on.
If I'd known there was an age limit, it was an age disqualification, maybe I would have cast someone else. But yeah, you were getting really punchy on day 2 of the set.
Yeah.
You
I
actually
see
smacked
that.
my girlfriend in her ass at one point.
No.
Yeah, and I just had to be like, okay, we got to get this thing shot
Did
today.
you have to like step up and?
I didn't.
put
I was.
things right?
I didn't have to. No, I didn't have to pull out the pimp hand or anything like that. But yes, you did. You don't even remember. This is the level that Margarita's at.
Yeah. I mean, because she doesn't remember because you weren't important back then. But now that you're the star of the Supremacy, and it's a big hit, she'd never do that on the set again, right?
How were the short films that you did?
I don't even remember. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I've got photos of it, so we'll just leave it there. But
This has been a very different episode of London Real, hasn't
yeah,
it, Brian?
kind of like
Really?
it actually.
Yeah.
How come?
It's a bit more lighthearted, right?
Yeah, we usually kind of go deep. We dive right deep. It's usually more of like a vertical show, right? This is much more of a horizontal
Yeah,
show.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been fun though.
Very much so. So you're
We
gonna.
tried with the plane conversation.
Yeah, you tried kind of. But. So, what you're gonna go out and audition when you're in LA? And what's an audition really usually like? Oh, and do you ever get the creepy casting director that's like, "Would you like to go over lines in my trailer?" Or is any of that stuff going on?
No, they say I'm working on a project and whatever script, blah, blah, blah. Let's meet for coffee and talk about it. Why are you touching me?
See, I would totally
You know?
sleep with that casting director if I was like,
But they're not always real casting
Yeah,
directors.
but you're a
Okay.
stone cold killer, bro. You'd do anything
Would
to
you-
get to the top.
maybe. But
Yeah.
would you do anything to get to the top? No. Okay. Well, so you do come across these guys, and you just kind of have to kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of politely move the conversation
And it
elsewhere.
gets really annoying because you do spend time, like say, you meet them, you spend time talking about this certain project and you meet them and you spend that time, you know, and then they do that. And my thought isn't, oh my god, he's so sleazy. My thought is like, oh man, wasting my time, you know.
Can you tell right away?
No, hence the time wasting.
Oh, okay. So it's like days and days and
Yeah.
boom. What are commercials like?
Good.
They pay well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Commercials are good. They film them fast. People are professional. There isn't like artistic ego behind it.
Okay. What was your greatest moment on stage so far?
Moment?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, don't know.
No particular role you enjoyed in the West End?
I don't know. No. I just love it. I love the whole experience of it. The ability to tell a story from beginning to end is nice.
As in a play scenario as opposed to just a movie set?
You don't tell it from beginning to end in a movie set, obviously, because you know the scenes are different. Like, if there's 7 scenes in the house all the way through the film, you film them whenever you have the house, right? But in a theatre, you get to tell the story from beginning to end, so you get that emotional experience and you convey it.
What about the acting itself? Do you have to really tone it down for a film?
Yeah, that's been a learning experience. Definitely.
Did you go a little too
What
big?
do you mean, Brian?
Well, I mean, maybe you can explain what I mean as far as...
Yeah, because when you train in theatre, all your training is based on to project to someone at the back of the theatre, miles and miles, not miles, hundreds of meters away from you. And then when the camera points at your face, you still do it, and then you're like, oh, Jesus, that looks bad.
I remember like reading an interview with Will Smith when he said when he was making the transition from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to to movies, he realized he was going to have to change his gestures and stuff because everything would be picked up on the bigger screen. So it's kind of like that.
Some actors say you just think the emotions.
Yeah,
and
and
then they
it's
come
so
out.
funny that I've thought I was really toned down, and now I watch it and I'm like, Jesus God, what is that? Like, it's so obvious.
That's interesting.
Because in stage you really have to overdo it, even if it's on a musical, even if it's something else. You're always...
Yeah, it's got to be real, but like more shown, you know.
Let's say the hypothetical plane scenario took place, and worst case scenario, you were badly mauled or burned or injured, knock on wood. What would you do with your life if you couldn't be an actress or be involved in this industry?
Well, when people go through those experiences, they think of this miraculous job to do always, don't they? Not always, but they're like, and thank God for the experience because now it's made me who I am. So I don't know what I would do if that was
okay,
the
let's say
experience.
like right now I told you your name is mud in the industry, you can't work in beauty, pageants, modeling or acting. What would you do?
Oh, okay. But I still, you know, no traumatic experience. I can hear the sound of the thing.
It's called dead air,
So
folks.
so can we?
We're still here.
Law,
Law. Okay.
criminal law.
Fair enough. Any particular reason?
I find it interesting.
Okay.
Do you ever-
Attracted to criminals.
Do you ever secretly wish that one day you'll wake up horribly disfigured so you can pursue another line of work?
No, because it's so difficult. If you're horribly disfigured, then people react to you in a different way, don't they?
I guess so, yeah.
Did you ever watch a movie, The Elephant Man?
It's really old, right?
Old school
Yeah.
movie. That is a head fuck, bro.
Just because he looks like an elephant? He doesn't really.
I mean, he is. I just think that I personally think that guy must have had a really brave soul to want to play that game, because that is just.
What about that actor from The Wire? He's that black guy, and he's got this nasty cut all the way down his face and his eyebrows, and he just rolls with it, and he takes it to every role that he has.
Which guy is that?
And he's also in Boardwalk Empire as well. Have you seen The Wire? You must see The Wire.
I've
But
seen it.
everyone
I'm just trying to
says
place
that.
the character.
I'm killing myself. But anyways, he just rolls with it, and he just owns it, and it works. But he's a dude.
Some chicks dig scars, right? On
Guess
guys,
so.
it's a turn on.
Some
so
people dig scars.
He's probably pimping that out.
Maybe. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Have
anymore.
we spoken about Alpha Brain?
No, we should. We are sponsored today by Alpha Brain, which is a nootropic. I'm going to give Margarita some. Not that she needs it after we're
What
done.
is it?
It's a nootropic, which is basically vitamins for your brain to make your brain work better. It's called Alpha Brain. And it's brought to you by Onnit Labs. And if you go to onnit.com, that's ONNIT, and use the code LondonReal, you will get 10% off. And you can also get Shroom Tech Immune, which has the cordyceps mushrooms. It's good if you're
for
training
working
hard.
out. Yeah, really good for workouts.
I like that stuff a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
You get those kettlebells out. Do you use kettlebells?
She doesn't work out, dude.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I like the way you listen to me.
He's smarter than he looks, this one.
He is.
Any final questions? We're almost out of time. Go figure.
I'm pretty much done.
Do you have any questions for us?
Are you happy?
Am I happy?
That is a great question.
That's a great question. I'm actually very happy right now. It's crazy. You know?
That'll change in an hour.
Maybe. When I get my meds. No, I've been really happy lately. I think it's because I've been really busy and there's like all sorts of stuff going on, and I'm happy when I'm busy.
I'm the same as you. Exactly the same.
Yeah, it's when I'm not busy where it gets really bad. But busy in a good way, like doing stuff I like. The show's fun. I'm doing creative stuff, meeting lots of crazy people. That's always good. So currently
Are
happy.
you happy then?
Margarita, when you get a little bit older, you'll realize that happiness and sadness are two sides of the same coin.
Oh, God.
So I'm not gonna Yeah.
That is
We'll
just-
chat about it later.
I'm just not
Okay.
going to even comment to that. And how about you? Are you happy?
I went through this like 3 days of being really happy solidly, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get sad at some point. Surely.
Was this recently?
Just now, yeah.
Is this day 3?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't know why?
Yeah, I don't know.
But you're back in sunny London.
You reckon?
Do you miss London?
Terribly.
You like it being back here?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you miss most about it? Or what do you like most about it?
My mum is here. My like friends who I can just sit and talk to are here.
Codependence.
Codependence. I can fulfill my codependence here.
But you found new codependence in Sydney, right?
Not so strongly.
Okay. All right.
But also, I love the areas in London, different areas, you know, like I know them like the back of my hand, so I like that. I know where the good restaurants are, and there's familiarity. I like it.
Do you come down East London way very often?
I did a play here for like 2 months, so I was here every day. That's when I got to know it a little bit.
It's happening, right? All right, well, that's it then. We're going to conclude with actress and beauty queen pageant winner.
Yeah, I mean, I was fully prepared to hate you, but you actually turned out pretty cool. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of stereotypes about beauty queens and stuff, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Thanks.
All right, well, until then, kids,
It's about the journey.
all right, peace.
Welcome to London, the city we come from. London town and we go play the Eden sound now. We go party all night long.
Sun is shining and you know we're gonna feel good. Come on everybody, party in the neighborhood. Eden Nights, let's check out.